Our next guest is calling for DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas to be impeached, removed, prosecuted, and until then, have his salary reduced to just $1.
Let's bring in New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Can it happen? Will it happen?
Absolutely. This is an amendment you can add to the Homeland Security bill. It's the Holmen Rule. You can reduce it to $1. And I think it's interesting that we're talking about cutting our budget. We don't want to cut the resources that our border security needs, but what we can do is cut the salaries of the people who are derelict in their duty, and that is Mayorkas. And I think we can reduce him to $1. And I know sometimes it looks like a show, but this is, if we could take all the bad players in the Biden administration and reduce their salary to $1 without hurting the good people who are working toward the goals and understanding what's happening. You know, you're showing all this at the southern border. Those people are getting to New York as well. We've had cases of tuberculosis. We've had rapes, murders. All this is happening in upstate New York with illegal immigrants because Eric Adams, the city mayor, the mayor of the city of New York, is continuing his sanctuary city policies. Our governor, Kathy Hochul, continuing sanctuary city policies, giving incentives to bring even more people in by raising our taxes to over $1 billion just in this cycle. It's going to cost even more. And they're continuing to and give the cartels this money. That's what this is really about. We're undermining the wealth of Americans. And I'm talking relative wealth. Senior citizens who are living on their pensions or maybe living on their 401k and their Social Security, who have the house they've saved their entire life to have, now are getting huge taxes and unfunded mandates coming through these local governments. But where I live in upstate New York, I represent 12 upstate counties, and almost all of them did what they called an emergency order and stood up to Kathy Hochul on a local level and said, we will not accept these migrants. Contrast that in a neighboring county, Erie County, which is where the city of Buffalo is, a great city. Their county executive called all of us bigots and appalling and terrible people for not allowing these immigrants. Now he's seeing a pushback because the majority of the people, even in Erie County, are fighting back. And that's where we've seen the alleged sex abuse, rape, and also these tuberculosis cases, not to mention other eradicated diseases that could have been prevented if we were allowed to send them back under Title 42, a public health statute that was eviscerated and canceled under President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas.
You know, Claudia, you mentioned your Governor Kathy Hochul. Back in 2021, she sent this message out to the world. Watch.
We want people to come here. We say you are welcome here. We are welcome with open arms, and we'll work to keep you safe. We'll not only house you, but we'll protect you.
Now, that message was clearly received by the more than 100,000 migrants that have flooded into New York State in recent months. And now it seems like the governor, she's singing a little bit of a different tune completely. Watch her now.
We have to also message properly that we're at our limit. If you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else.
You know, Claudia, I have to imagine the politics in the state has changed when you see so many migrants come in. I have to imagine the constituents of New York are like, this is too much. We got to change course, which is why Kathy Hochul is now telling migrants to go somewhere else.
Well, absolutely. This is a 2-to-1 Democratic state with 80% of the people in our state across all sectors saying that they are opposed to this migrant crisis created by President Biden, Secretary Mayorkas, encouraged by Kathy Hochul with sanctuary policies. And remember something, Kathy Hochul, all of these people are coming in, and who's paying for the hotel rooms? Who are the people that are the contractors, the food, the resources, the medicine, the diapers, everything, the hotel rooms? We're displacing students from State University of New York. Students had to wait for migrants to be evicted from their dorm rooms so they could go and start their state college time. This is insane, not to mention the fact that not only are the students paying for all this, we have people in assisted living centers who have been displaced because guess what? We can't pay $49 a day to help someone, a senior in assisted living, but we can pay up to $250 to $300 a day to put an illegal immigrant who likely, in more cases than not, as you know, Sean, does not have a legitimate asylum claim.
She'll go on TV and run her mouth, but why isn't she on the horn with Joe Biden and tell him to stop it and start deporting these illegal migrants under Title VIII, which they have the power to do? Congresswoman, before you go, to get your take on the looming government shutdown. Is it in the cards? Can you avert it?
I hope we don't. I think we have some possibilities on the table. Unfortunately, we are governing in the House by a 4-seat majority. That's all we have. We've come up with some good numbers. I think a shutdown is going to cost more to us than the number discrepancy that we have here on our debate. I really hope that we can come together. Look, the Democrats always stick together. We need to stick together. Sean, when I served with you, we didn't have this narrow majority, but it's really critical because it's going to cost us a fortune, and we are not going to be able to get any of the things that we need. We're not going to be able to put a marker down on some of the deals and the things that we need to make. And the Senate is just going to run roughshod over us, along with the administration. We need to stick together. We need to come up with conservative numbers. We need to cut. We need to get those appropriations bills passed in committee under regular order. We've got to come up with a way to get those passed into the floor. It's just the way it has to happen. We face a 1% cut, which, by the way, would be unprecedented. It would be the first time, based on the deal that was made, it would be the first time that we have actually cut from one year to a next, cut our budget. And that would be actually not a bad thing. I'd rather see us do it with our priorities in place, the Republican priorities, instead of the ESG, all the types of social wokeness that the Democrats have, even in the military budget. And so I think we have an opportunity to do this. I just hope we have this time to come together
Claudia,
before September 30
listen,
expires and we end up with a shutdown.
You guys have to cut spending and pass a bill. You can't have the government shut down and Republicans in Congress not pass a bill. You're going to get destroyed on that. You have to have something to argue with, and passing a bill gives you that opportunity. I would focus on just a couple things: FBI, DOJ, CIA, cut those, make them pay for their politics, and come back later for more. But Claudia Tenney, I know you're a scrapper and a fighter. Thank you for joining us on The Bottom Line, bringing so much color to our conversation. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to both of you.